The Rookie Season 7 made one of the show's best characters even more divisive. You ever watch a character slowly morph into a problem, right in front of your eyes? At first, you root for them, then you make excuses, and before you know it you're staring at your screen whispering, "Wait, are you the bad guy now?" Yeah, that's Bailey Nune. The Rookie Season 7 didn't just soft reveal a flaw in one of its best characters. It did something far more dangerous. It weaponized her perfection, and the worst part, nobody in the show or the fandom is truly ready to talk about it. Until now. I'm Sophia, and today on Breakdown Epic, we're tearing the gloss off one of the Rookie's most divisive characters, and asking the one question the show has masterfully avoided for 2 seasons straight. What do you do when the person standing next to the hero quietly becomes the villain? Because behind the wedding ring, the heroic stunts, and that perfect emergency room timing, Bailey's harboring a secret. And it's not just a bad call or a moral oopsie, it's the kind of thing that, if you knew the full truth, might change how you see every scene she's in. Let's rewind. When Bailey first burst onto the Rookie in Season 3, fans thought, oh cute, a romantic subplot. She won't last long. Classic TV misdirection, right? Except she did last. She didn't just stick around, she cemented herself. Paramedic, fire department rep, John Nolan's endgame. She became the show's second heartbeat. But that's when it started. Something subtle, something suspicious. Ever notice how she's always just there? Need a medic? Bailey. Need a daring leap off a moving bus? Bailey. Need emotional support? Bailey. Need someone to defuse a bomb while quoting Thoreau? Still Bailey. And fans were patient at first. Because sure, she's capable, she's smart, she's warm. But then something shifted in Season 7. The Malvado arc happened, and suddenly, we weren't dealing with a superhero anymore. We were watching someone choose silence over justice, complicity over confrontation. And what did the writers do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No confrontation, no fallout, no real consequences. Just a quick villain exit and fade to black. That's when fans started whispering online, is Bailey actually the problem? And if you're nodding right now, good, you've already started to see through the polished armor. By the way, if you're already intrigued, and you like breakdowns that cut through the noise, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Seriously, we go deep, and we don't pull punches. Now let's dig deeper into the lie beneath Bailey Nune's perfection. Here's what most people missed about that Malvado storyline. Bailey didn't just know about a killer who tried to murder her husband twice. She collaborated with him. Yes, collaborated. Let that sink in. She kept things from Nolan. She tried to reason with a sociopath. She played both sides like a diplomat, not a victim. And when Malvado finally died in a shootout, the show treated it like just another Tuesday. No reckoning, no moral hangover, not even a whisper of, "Hey, maybe that was kinda messed up." That's not just bad writing, that's intentional avoidance. Because if Bailey has to face what she did, the audience would have to re-evaluate everything about her. And maybe, just maybe, that's what the writers are afraid of. Because Bailey isn't just Nolan's wife. She's the symbol of stability in a chaotic world. But what happens when your symbol becomes corrupted? What happens when your cleanest character gets dirty? And what if I told you, this isn't the only time Bailey has bent the rules? Let's play a game. Quick memory test. Remember Season 4, Episode 15, the portrait episode? Bailey paints Nolan's face. It's bad, like, comically bad. You laughed, didn't you? We all did. But why was that moment even in the script? Because the writers had to humanize her somehow. They knew she was coming off too perfect. That scene wasn't a joke. It was a warning. A breadcrumb trail. They were trying to give her flaws, but without consequences. Without depth. It's like they wanted to have a perfect character and a flawed one at the same time, without ever really committing to either. That's narrative cheating. And fans, we can smell it. Hamid Fidi Ejigmenti. Polling. Humor callbacks. Let me ask you this. Breakdowners, do you think Bailey knew exactly what she was doing with Malvado? Or was she genuinely trying to keep the peace? Comment, villain vibes, if you think she crossed the line. Comment, misguided hero, if you think she just made a bad call. And if you've watched our episode on Monica and Oscar's chaotic dynamic last season, you'll remember we talked about moral ambiguity in villains. But Bailey, she's not even supposed to be a villain. That's what makes this so much worse. Oh, and before we move on, can we talk about the painting again? Look, I've seen toddlers at dentist offices sketch more accurate faces. It was like Nolan got hit with a brick made of pastels. Art school dropouts everywhere took it personally. And yet, that's still the most relatable thing Bailey has ever done on the show. Habiuldi and Jimori. Emotional stakes of drama. Now let's talk emotion. You remember the moment Nolan got shot in Season 6? Bailey was there. She reacted. She cried. She stitched him up. But now we know she later protected a man who tried to finish the job. How do you reconcile that? I'll tell you how. You don't. You bottle it. You script around it. You hope fans forget. But we didn't forget in Season 8. If it doesn't address this, if it doesn't bring Bailey's shadow side into the light, then the Rookie has officially created a character more dangerous than Monica or Oscar ever were. Because Bailey doesn't kill with bullets, she kills with trust. So let's review. Bailey Nune didn't just get caught in a messy situation. She helped orchestrate it and walked away clean. Now if that doesn't bother you, let me rephrase it. A trained first responder, married to a cop, helped shield a criminal, and got a free pass. Still not shaken. Imagine if Lucy Chen had done this. or Tim, or Nyla. Imagine if anyone else had even accidentally aligned with a killer targeting one of their own. The fallout would have been massive. But Bailey. The writers closed the file, zipped it shut, and said, well, she paints ugly. That's punishment enough. Here's why this cuts so deep. We're not mad at Bailey just because she made a mistake. We're mad because she never had to own it. There's something infuriating about watching someone constantly win, constantly shine, constantly save the day. And then the one time they don't, everyone around them looks the other way. It's the TV version of that one coworker who botches a project, but still gets praised in the Monday meeting. You know the one. Meanwhile, Lucy Chen jumps through flaming hoops every episode, and still gets overshadowed by super nurse firefighter hero paramedic Bailey. If Bailey shows up next season with a pilot's license, a law degree, and the ability to speak fluent Morse code underwater, honestly, wouldn't even flinch. She probably invented time travel off screen between calls. But hey, she can't paint. So, balance. We talked in our most overlooked plot twists in The Rookie episode about how character growth only works when flaws are confronted, and in Bailey's case, flaws are either glossed over or served with a wink and a musical montage. A spoiler alert, there will be no musical montages in this video. We're here to expose, not excuse. Now, let's go even deeper into the Malvado arc and explore the choice that could have changed the entire show. Let me pitch you a scene. A better scene. A scene that should have happened. Picture this, Nolan finds out Bailey has been in contact with Malvado, not because she confesses, but because Malvado brags about it. Suddenly, Nolan's not just betrayed, he's conflicted. Does he arrest his wife? Does he report her? Does he forgive her? Now that's television. That's tension. That's the kind of moral dilemma that makes an audience sit forward, pause the episode, and say, what would I do? But instead, they wrote her out of the confrontation completely. Why? Because if Bailey faces the full weight of her decision, she breaks. And the truth is, the writers don't want her to break. They want her pristine, perfect, untouchable. Which is why her critics are louder now than ever before. So I want to know, what's more compelling? A character who always wins or one who barely survives, with scars and regret? Hit the comments right now. Type, give us the flaws, if you think Bailey needs to face serious consequences in Season 8. Or drop let her live, if you think the fans are being too harsh. Be honest. And remember, we're not dragging Bailey because she's female. We're dragging her because her arc refuses to follow the rules the rest of the show lives by. She's playing life on God mode, while everyone else is stuck on hard. And let me just say this, I want to love Bailey. I do, she saves people. She shows up. She's basically a firefighter, EMT police therapist hybrid. She probably volunteers at orphanages between scenes, feeds stray puppies, reads bedtime stories to the ghosts of fallen villains. But being good on paper isn't the same as being real on screen. And right now, Bailey doesn't feel real. She feels manufactured. Like a marketing campaign disguised as a person. And I don't know about you, but I didn't sign up to watch the paramedic propaganda hour. I signed up for The Rookie, a show about flawed heroes making tough choices. Let's not forget that. So where does that leave us? Season 8 is coming. Filming has started. Jenna Dewan posted her little cheeky behind-the-scenes video. We all saw it. But unless they tackle this head-on, Bailey's arc might actually damage the show more than Monica and Oscar combined. Think about it. Villains are supposed to be hated. They're written that way. But when a hero becomes controversial, that's when a fandom fractures. It's not just plot twists anymore. It's trust issues. And when an audience loses trust in the show's moral compass, ratings dip, fan forums explode. Reddit turns into an emotional battleground. You've seen it before. We all have, and guess what? Bailey is the fuse. Now, don't click away yet. We're about to explore the real reason the writers might be protecting her, and how a tiny rivalry with Lucy Chen may be the key to cracking Bailey's perfect image open. Because what starts as a little tension, a little jealousy, a tiny offhand remark in Season 7, Episode 11 might actually be setting up a showdown in Season 8 that no one saw coming. And if the writers have the guts to follow through, Bailey's fall from grace might just become The Rookie's most powerful storyline yet. You ever watch two characters smile at each other on screen? But behind those smiles, there's a war brewing. Oh, Lucy and Bailey aren't throwing punches. Not yet. But don't mistake silence for peace, because in Season 7, Episode 11, a single line from Lucy Chen cracked the surface. She said, almost jokingly, that her own acts of bravery keep getting outshined by Bailey's flashy high-octane heroism. Now pause. That wasn't just a throwaway comment. That was resentment, wrapped in sarcasm. Gift wrapped in drama we have not unpacked yet. Let's be real, Lucy Chen has earned her spotlight. She's taken beatings, tackled chaos, survived trauma, and grown on screen. Her arc is one of the most raw and earned on The Rookie. But Bailey, she shows up late in the game, hops out of a fire truck, leaps onto a bus, and boom, instant legend. It's like watching someone skip the line, grab a trophy, and thank the Academy before the game even started. Now imagine how that feels to someone like Lucy, someone who's bled for her stripes. So tell me, Breakdowners, are you Team Lucy, quietly simmering under the surface, or are you Team Bailey, believing she's just doing her job? Drop a for Lucy. Drop a if you think Bailey's just saving lives, not stealing thunder. Let's make this comment section a civil war zone. Chasu spicy loopi, Bielo is dominancy. The weirdest part, Bailey doesn't even try to be dominant, she just is. She walks into a scene, and everything stops. She gets the hero shot. The emotional music swell. The Bailey just saved the day again moment. And Lucy's left clapping in the background like, cool. I only pulled a guy out of a hostage crisis this week, but no worries. The imbalance is real. And fans have noticed. Here's the real missed opportunity. The show has the perfect foundation for a slow burn, complex rivalry, not the kind with catfights and drama. I'm talking internal pressure, competing legacies, unspoken competition, like Succession and sweat uniforms. But instead, the show skirts past it, probably because they don't want Bailey to get heat from another beloved female character. But guess what? Women don't need to be coddled to stay likable. They need to be real. And Lucy vs. Bailey could be the realest, most emotionally nuanced tension the Rookie has ever seen. Let me pitch you this. Imagine season 8 opens with a call. Bailey and Lucy respond, same incident, same chaos. But one of them makes a mistake, and for once, it's Bailey. Maybe she miscalculates a risk, maybe she freezes, and Lucy, she covers it, doesn't say a word, but the silence eats her alive. Now we're cooking with drama. Suddenly, it's not about who saves more lives. It's about loyalty, ego, guilt, and truth. But nah. Knowing the Rookie, they'll probably have Bailey skydive onto a burning helicopter while giving CPR midair, and Lucy will quietly handle the hostage negotiator, the building fire, and a lost dog. With no credit. Because that's the energy we're dealing with. Here's the deeper truth. The show has positioned Bailey as untouchable. She doesn't make mistakes. She doesn't pay consequences. And worst of all, she doesn't evolve. Not in any real way. Oh, she gets scenes. Emotion. But growth, that requires facing darkness. And Bailey's darkness keeps getting swept under the rug. The Malvado situation, still ignored. Her rivalry with Lucy, barely hinted. Her perfect wife label, unquestioned. That's not a character arc. That's a brand image. Remember when we joked about her ugly portrait of Nolan in season 4? Let's take a second look. What if that painting, that single, failed attempt, is the only time the writers dared to let Bailey feel human? Think about it. That wasn't just a bad painting. That was her one failure. And they made it a punchline. What does that tell you? The show won't let her fail in real ways. So when they do, it's always a joke, a glitch, a harmless oopsie. And that's why fans are frustrated. Because if you don't let a character bleed, we'll never believe they're alive. Here's what fans actually want. We want Bailey to cry. Not from grief, but from regret. We want her to yell at Nolan, not in a lover's spat, but in fear that she's becoming someone she hates. We want her to mess up, admit it, and face the fallout. Because that's how characters evolve. And right now, frozen in perfection, chained by her role, and held hostage by writers afraid to take risks. Colorist, Lucy rest tolerant RC. Meanwhile Lucy Chen. Lucy fails. Lucy doubts. Lucy fights for her growth. She's been manipulated, injured, traumatized. And she got back up. She's not flawless. She's real. And that's why Lucy is rising while Bailey is stagnating. So let's get honest, if Bailey disappeared next season, would the show actually lose anything? Think about it. Would the emotional core crumble? Would the team fall apart? Would viewers riot? Or would we all just move on? That's the danger of building a character out of glass. Beautiful, polished, reflective. But one good hit, and they shatter. In our final section, we're going to explore what the Rookie must do in season 8 to save Bailey's character. And what will happen if they don't. Because the fuse is lit, and if Lucy's arc gets suppressed one more time in Bailey's shadow, we may be looking at the biggest fan backlash the show's ever seen. Let me ask you something that might sting. What's worse, a villain who owns their darkness, or a hero who hides theirs? Because if we're being real, Bailey Nune isn't evil. She's not scheming. She's not manipulating anyone behind the scenes. But she's also not innocent. Not anymore. And what happens when a hero refuses to face their flaws? They stop being a hero. They become a myth, a safe, polished statue. And statues, they don't evolve, they erode. Season 8 is the Rookie's last chance to make Bailey matter again. And they have two paths. Path 1, keep her shiny and untouchable. Make her the flawless medic, the perfect wife, the queen of convenient rescues. Stick to the formula. Let her hover in scenes like a plot-saving drone. But know this, that path leads to irrelevance. Fans will stop caring, writers will write around her, and one day, her exit will be mentioned in passing, with no weight at all. Or path 2, break her. Give Bailey a real crisis. Not an external one, an internal one. A betrayal, a secret revealed, a failure she can't fix with a bandage and a motivational speech. Let her crack open. Let us see what's underneath all the competence. Here's what Bailey needs to face in season 18. The Malvado cover up, she gave info to a killer. Even if she thought it was justified, even if it was under pressure, she helped him and nobody made her pay. If the show has any guts left, someone, Nolan, Lucy, Tim, anyone, needs to find out. And when they do, don't gloss over it. Don't make it an "I'm sorry" scene with a hug. Make it brutal. Her relationship with Nolan. This might hurt, but it's true. Their relationship has plateaued. They're a great symbol, but not a compelling story. Show us conflict. Show us resentment. Show us Nolan questioning whether he even knows who Bailey is anymore. The Lucy rivalry, stop teasing it. Commit. Give Lucy and Bailey a real professional rivalry. Not catty, not jealous. Respectful but tense. Show us two women who want to be the best, but can't both be the star. That's fire. To the writers of The Rookie, if you're watching this, and you probably are, since this video is blowing up faster than Bailey's next sweat jump, stop protecting her. Let her fall. Let her rise again. Let her earn her redemption. Because that's how stories work. And to the fans, the ones calling Bailey boring, plot armor, the problem, don't write her off yet. Demand better writing, not a character deletion. Because underneath all the perfection, there's a story trying to break through. And maybe, just maybe, Bailey Nune isn't the villain. Maybe she's just a hero in denial. Now look, I know some of you are already typing. You, Sophia. Why so harsh? She's done more in one episode than half the cast. Yeah, she's leaped from trucks, saved kids, fought fires, and probably filed her taxes early. But saving lives doesn't make you immune to critique. Ask Batman and Bailey. She might be the Batwoman of the Rookie, minus the cape, and with more glitter lip gloss. But even Batman faces consequences. Remember when we asked you in page 1 to choose villain vibus or misguided hero? Go back, scroll, check what you commented. Now ask yourself again, has your answer changed? Because mine has. When we started this video, I was ready to call Bailey the real villain of season 7. But now, I think she's something worse. She's a flawed human pretending to be a symbol. And the longer she pretends, the more people get hurt. If the Rookie doesn't give Bailey a real arc this season, here's what's gonna happen. Lucy's development will stall. Fan debates will explode into pure toxicity, and Bailey, she'll become the show's most avoidable mistake. Not because she was evil, but because she was wasted. And that, my friends, is the real tragedy. Because in a show about redemption, learning, and second chances, Bailey never even got her first real flaw acknowledged. And yeah, sure, maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe I've overanalyzed a fire, jumping, Nolan kissing, portrait, failing super nurse. Or maybe I'm just the only one willing to say it out loud. Now it's your turn. Drop your comments below. Tell me, should Bailey be exposed for her actions in season 8? Should Lucy finally confront her? And what consequence would actually feel satisfying to you? Let's build a conversation that makes it all the way back to the writer's room. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Because Breakdown Epic isn't just about breaking stories. It's about breaking through the noise. And we don't just cover what happened, we expose what it means. Bailey Nune was built to be the perfect character, but perfection isn't just unrealistic, it's unsustainable. And sooner or later, even statues fall. I'm Sophia, and this has been your Breakdown Epic. Until next time, watch your heroes closely. They're not always who they say they are.